to give a little tour of a hose retractable central vacuum installation that we've just completed. This is the new construction portion of the job where we run all the piping and get it ready for the walls to be closed in. Now we're a little earlier than I usually like to be. The electrician is not done, the plumber is not done, the sheet metal contractor is not done. So we have to anticipate what's going to go in as well as what's already here to avoid having to relocate things. This installation has 3 retractable hose inlets, 2 on the main floor and 1 on the second floor. We'll go up and look at the second floor first. Okay, so up here we're using a 40-foot hose to cover the space. So we have measured from the corners of the rooms 40 feet, or actually a little less than 40 feet ideally, out towards the center. And we've determined that this is a good spot, not straight ahead of you when you walk up the stairs, but a little off to the side. And on the height, this being a retractable hose inlet, on the second floor it's retracting upwards, and you can put them at light switch height, and then you can put the downward retracting ones at electrical outlet height. But we have begun the practice of putting them all at 30 inches so that they are uniform throughout the home, and that seems to be a nice happy medium. And on this one you can see we leave a little bit of slack wire. Here's our plate. We are using the HS4000 valve. We find it to be a little more durable and just a more robust design, but the trade-off is it is larger. And our piping goes up. We have applied nail plates wherever the pipe comes within 1 5/8 inch of where drywall will be hung to protect the pipe and the wire. And our raceway goes around big loop, and it is resting directly on top of the joists, secured in places, and that allows it to be covered with insulation, which is very important. There's the other end of it. So for a 40-foot hose, we run at least 45 feet of pipe before we transition to standard central vacuum fittings. And there's, just before that coupling, there's the hose stop that prevents the hose from getting caught in the 45. And that's included with a hose kit, so we use it. And then we come down here. So at this point, this is no longer a hose raceway, it's just a conduit for the dust and dirt to flow through down to the main unit. So we found that this is a good place to bring the piping down. It's also closer to where the unit's going to be instead of being way off in the other end of things. So here's one of our 2 downward retracting inlets, same height as the upward retracting one. And this is actually a nice height to pull the hose out without stooping. We have applied a nail plate here only on one side of the wall because this being a 2x6 wall, drywall screws will not puncture the pipe from the other side. So we've got that one there. We have this one here. And notice we have added a block to bring this further away from the door frame so that it's not conflicting with the door jamb when the trims are applied. Again, a nail plate, and our pipe coming from above, not that one, that one, comes through. We're riding up high above the can light, and then we're coming down here. We've got nail plates. We have our wires secured. This job also has a couple of inlets in the garage and a dustpan inlet in the cabinet. So at the designated place where the front of the cabinet would be about here, we've roughed this in to be far back enough that We have room to put a couple of elbows on and do whatever we might need to do, or a piece of flex hose. We've used a Colt ring here so that our 90-degree elbow is above what's going to be the finished floor. In the past, we would take a piece of wood and nail it to the floor and then strap the pipe to that. Colt rings have made life easier. And we've got enough control wire looped in here so that we can pull it out the front of the toe kick and connect it. The idea here is, even if the cabinet contractor forgets all about us and doesn't cut a hole, we can cut the hole from the front of the toe kick ourselves with an oscillating tool and reach in and make the connection without needing an access panel or access from underneath. We also do have 2 garage inlets. This extra large garage is going to require 2 inlets with a 50-foot hose to clean it. So I'll show you where those are connected down here. So down in the basement, which is not yet finished and not going to be finished for the present time, so we haven't put any inlets down here, but you can see where all the piping runs. So here's an inlet. We use a combination of J-hooks and traditional pipe straps to secure the pipe. And our control wire is run neatly alongside the pipe. So again, we're accommodating 40 or 50 plus feet of hose with a 40 or 50 plus foot pipeline. And over here, there's a pipe coming down from a garage inlet. So that's run in the same joist bay, just up above. And then at the point where we have enough raceway to store the hose, we add a hose stop fitting, and then we can Y these 2 together. And this becomes a trunk line. And we now have picked up our second floor run there. And following along here, here's our other retractable hose inlet. So this goes this way above the ducts, drops down. Whoop. The key is we want this to be nice and smooth, using as few fittings as possible. Sometimes we have enough play in the pipe to drop down below the bottom of the joist without offsetting it, but in this case we have had to use an offset. This is a 22.5-degree fitting. Coming along this way, and here's our other garage inlet, but notice these are also completely independent because we do not yet have enough pipe to store the hose until right about there. There's another hose stop fitting, and then so we have, this is where we were before. You can see we've joined the control wire, and so this is leading to where the central vac unit is going to hang. This is coming from our other garage inlet. We pick up our dustpan inlet in the kitchen. We come over this way. We join together, splice the wire, and we leave piping just about to where the unit is going to hang, so that when we finish, all we have to do is extend that pipe down the wall. We've left sufficient low voltage wiring, mount the unit, and plug it into the outlet that the electrician will provide. Of course, now that our work here is done, we've made sure our nail plates and plaster guards are on. We've cleaned up our mess. Hopefully, with any luck, the next time we'll be in this house, it'll be almost move-in ready. And that's our process for installing a retractable hose central vacuum.